Hello, everyone. Here I want to talk about a functional programming language called Haskell. First, let me tell you I don't know Haskell. I heard of Haskell many years ago when I was looking for jobs, and there was some coding position in an investment bank, and they want to hire Haskell programmers. That was the first time I heard of a thing called functional programming, where you don't have side effects. And the statements are like mathematical equations, which is kind of interesting. And over the years, I used a few tools written in Haskell. The most famous one is Pandoc. It is a tool to interconvert different document types, say PDF, LaTeX, Word, HTML. And then I also use a tool called Git. This one manages a wiki site, your own wiki site. In fact, the Pandoc and the Git are written by the same person, who is a philosophy professor in Berkeley. I also know in the Linux community, many people like to use a window manager called Xmonad. It can tile windows in neat ways. So this Pascal thing was on the back of my mind for many years. I kind of want to learn functional programming, but never really put this in action. So recently it came back to my attention again. One day I was Googling what is the most succinct language, programming language, and found this blog post from Wolfram. So if you don't know Wolfram, this is the company that made Mathematica. If you don't know Mathematica, it is a tool and also programming language that's very good in analytical math, symbolic calculations. For example, I often use their web interface. I mean, their software costs money, but the web interface is free. You can say integral. You can do integrations from this website. For example, it will tell you integrate x is x squared over 2 plus constant, and it will draw pictures for you. You can do more complicated integrations, but if it's too crazy, then they say they will say you need to pay. Okay, let's go back to the most succinct programming language. So this is a pretty old article. And honestly, I didn't really read it carefully. I only look at this plot on this table. And my interpretation is that one line of Mathematica equals 17 lines of C, 9.1 lines of C++, etc. I'm not 100% sure that's the right interpretation because the other lines don't seem to match this exactly. For example, here, one fortune equals 1 C++. But you can see here C++ and fortune are not exactly equal. But anyways, let's pretend one line of Mathematica is 17 lines of C. So here, I mean, probably it is some self-promotion for Wolfram to say Mathematica is the shortest, the most succinct programming language. But probably contains some information. For example, obviously C is more verbose than Python. And also here you can see that the most succinct ones are Clojure, MATLAB, R, and then Haskell. I mean, I think it's kind of understandable that they rank Mathematica and MATLAB and R as the most succinct ones because they can do very high-level computational tasks. But you can see Haskell is also ranked pretty high, and Python is not that high. which is kind of interesting. I use Python most of the time, and I feel it's kind of okay. It's bearable, but it doesn't hurt to learn something more succinct. Okay, then maybe this is one potential motivation to learn Haskell again. You can write shorter code. Okay, then I did a bit of searching and see what people think about Haskell. It seems many people think it has good performance, but somewhat lacking in ecosystems, especially in the GUI part, which I don't particularly care. I actually prefer to do things in terminal. And also, many people say it's slightly harder to program than a precisional programming language. But whenever the coding is done, it's easier to maintain. Maybe that's part of the reason why the investment banks prefers to use this. And a lot of people say by learning this, you can improve your understanding of programming, which is probably true because it's a very different paradigm. So I'm basically sold. I will probably learn Haskell in the following weeks and see how it goes. Right now, I'm not exactly sure what kind of tasks Haskell is good at or bad at. I will just learn the language itself first. Let me know if you know Haskell and what do you think is a good starting project to do. Okay, that's what I want to talk about today. Thanks for watching.